Hey friends, Ari here. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on 4 things that I wish I had known when I started playing the guitar. I'm still a student of guitar. This year marks 30 years since I started playing, and man, I'm getting old and I should have been a better guitar player. And I can do some things, right? But I'm still crazy about guitar. I still play it all the time, and I still think that I have untapped potential. But that being said, I think that there were definitely some things that I wish I had known when I started, and that would have made me a better player today than I am now. Truth number 1, you have to relax when you're playing. Oh, I feel so embarrassed or silly saying this even, but I used to think that, because I started playing back in the days when the shred guitar was very popular, and to play really fast, I had to. I thought it was kind of like weightlifting, that if I just really kind of made myself. What's a good way to put it? If I forced myself to play fast, my hands would get tired or something like that. But after I recover from it, I should be able to move faster. It is not the strength training. It is not even remotely the same thing. You learn speed and accuracy by just relaxing and then repeating the same moves over and over, so it becomes a muscle memory, and it almost becomes like a habit, and then you can move your fingers fast that way, not by sort of crunching up and just sort of putting extra force in your hand. And in fact, it is, for example, easy to try to do bar chords, one of the hardest moves to do when you're a beginner, right? It's very hard to do in the beginning, to be able to do that cleanly. But if it doesn't sound good, just don't force anything. Don't crunch up by trying to sort of squeeze the hand around the neck. If you do it often enough, eventually naturally develop enough strength to do that. It's not a good idea to force your hand to do that. All right. The truth number 2 is to pick lightly. I used to break the strings all the time because I was picking so hard, and I'm still fairly heavy-handed when I'm strumming, but I've learned to pick lightly, and that's done 2 things. 1, I stopped breaking strings, and 2, my tone improved. So this is a tip that I got from one of the people I look up to, Tomo Fujita from Berkeley College of Music. He's a Japanese guitar player who's a professor there, and he said, get a tube amp, set it clean, and put the treble to 10, mid somewhere in the middle, and then bass, roll off all the bass. And my amp is set up like that right now. It sounds like this. Now with the amp set like that, obviously it's super bright, and with the tube amp set on clean, and I have a single coil style pickup, so there's a huge dynamic range. It can get really loud if I strum hard, right, like that. That probably distorted the mic there, but anyway. So in this condition, you have to really pick lightly. And I must say, again, there are many things that I'm still working on, but my tone just improved greatly, and now I get compliments on how I sound on the guitar, because I can make it sound good. So if you could excuse me, I'll go set the amp to more normal, manageable settings. Okay, my current setting still has mostly no bass, but it sounds like this, and if I put it to some other pickup settings, right? Like something like. Anyway, so I feel good about where I am with my guitar's tone, or how I can make my hands create good tone in most situations, and that all comes from picking lightly. So I encourage you to do that and don't make my mistake of just, doing that all the time. The third thing that I want to share with you is more conceptual. But if you want to be a good guitar player, if you want to be a practical and in-demand guitar player, then how you get to become a better guitar player is by learning songs. And that sounds obvious, but in the world of guitar there are all kinds of like licks and exercises, and you could sort of spend a lot of time doing that. And I'm not saying that there isn't value in them, but in my opinion it's better to consider them kind of like exercises, and songs are where it's at. And how you can measure a good guitar player, I almost think of it in the terms of, how many songs can a guitar player play from the beginning to the end, and he can sort of play on the spot, and with 90 to 95% mistake free. That's one way to measure a good guitar player, in my opinion, and I can tell you that I would miserably fail that test. And me starting to post covers and stuff is basically my attempts to remedy that. I can noodle, I can learn how to play, I kind of know how the songs go, many songs go, but can I really perform it? Can I really play it? Have I really practiced enough to be able to pull it off reliably? The answer is no. Don't be like me. You want to learn songs, learn it from beginning to the end, and you want to practice it so that you feel like you have it enough to be able to perform it in front of people, perform it on camera. And that's how you get to be a good, useful guitar player. And the last thing I would say that is kind of related to that is that if you want to be a practical guitar player, it's more important, it's more pragmatic to be able to do many simple things well. And again, me originally starting out wanting to shred, that's what I focused on, just doing fast guitar solos and stuff like that. And that is, 90 to 95% of guitar playing does not involve that, right? It's very important that you can play chords or arpeggios. Or finger pick, or play simple slide lick, or just whatever it is. If you can do a lot of simple things, but if you had the number of those simple, if you had a great number of those simple things, if you can do them well, that is infinitely more practical and useful than being able to play really fast licks, but only in certain contexts, or certain even like keys, or particular chord progression or something like that, right? I wish I had understood that and spent more years learning those simple things and built my sort of repertoire of things I can do as a guitar player, instead of just focusing on very narrow aspects of that. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you learned something from my mistakes. And please let me know in the comments. I am as passionate as ever about guitar playing, and so I might start posting more guitar related content from the perspective of somebody who's still learning, because again, teaching is the best way to learn. So I would share possibly what I'm learning while I'm working on the guitar, and if you think that's useful, let me know. Okay? Alright, thanks again. I'll see you next time.